Millennial Fabricator channel. We started in April 2024 and we are starting a fabrication and welding business from scratch. I am 29 years old and this is the shop we're moving into. We go through, put all new flooring in, get the office set up, clean the shop space out, and we have to buy equipment. I have some equipment that I have already, but a lot of saws, welders, generators, press brakes, all of that kind of equipment we're going to be buying. And then I'm going to show you the process on how I quote jobs, get jobs, about how much it costs, and the all-around starting of a business, and then cool projects that we're doing. So I'll show you all the different fabrication projects that we do for fun. I like my off-road, anything with a vehicle or anything, and then customer projects. So that's gonna be the goal. Let's hop into getting the shop set up. Day two, we just walked into the shop. It is still a little wet from pressure washing yesterday, but we got a bunch of the walls painted in the office. We have to get some flooring down, just that click together laminate. We're just putting some lipstick on it, nothing special. Room over here, this is what it used to be. This is definitely some 70s stuff, but we're gonna put a barrier wall there, so I'm not gonna paint that yet. We've got this wall all done, and then the bathroom, which it was a little rough. Not my favorite part. We replaced the toilet, painted the whole interior, took out all the old mirrors and everything, but we're just getting set up, so let's get after it. It is about 2 hours later, and this snap together flooring went down pretty good, but I just ran out. Last box, need like 2 more boxes, but we're getting there. It'll look good. We got all of the flooring in. That side's not so great, but not bad. Put some lipstick on it, and it is Sully's official day. He's got his little ball, but we're getting there, one step at a time. One thing I'm gonna have to get used to is the train that comes by. It's only a 3 deal whatever, but came by like 3 times today already. Kind of cool, but it is loud. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to set the shop up. I've got 2 garage doors, I think like a 10-foot and a 14-foot door over there, and it's a 55-50 shop space. And this is kind of a weird area. It's got like a wall that would go right down the center, and then it tucks back in here some. So I might use that for our equipment storage. Got a bunch of stuff to bring in here. That wall, I'm gonna add to it and then paint it. So that's why it's like that. Got the bathroom, the existing sink, and then kind of this big area. So I think all of this area I'm gonna keep open for bigger projects in this area. And then I'll have spots for forklift and then bringing material in and out. And I'll probably set rollers up along this wall with a couple different saws to get all of that in. So there's a lot of setup to do, a lot of equipment to bring in, a lot of getting set up, but I like doing this stuff. I'm not good at doing the flooring or painting, but we get it done. So on to the next project. All right, we got our forklift dropped off. Another project. Let's see if we can get this thing into the shop. I'd say we have a little bit of a transmission leak. This thing ain't moving anywhere. I've got this wall painted, but I'm gonna tackle this ugly wall now. So this will be the last one that we're gonna do. Sully will help out, but we'll get this thing knocked out. I almost got it completely done, except for up top, and I broke the handle right off, right at the last 5 minutes painting. So we're just gonna tape it on because that's the professional painters we are. All right, good as new. Let's get this last wall finished. That's a wrap for painting. Now I gotta figure out how to get this racking moved back. I probably shouldn't have loaded it down. There's not a ton of stuff, but I'm gonna see if I can slide it into place. Well, maybe now would be a good time to talk about my new forklift. We got some work to do. Obviously, you can see the wiring's a little messed up. Had to get a new coil and put 12 volts to it to make it run because there's no key on power, but we got it to run at least. That was like probably a gallon of hydraulic fluid dumped on the ground. So I'm gonna have to tear the cylinders apart, see what's leaking, and go from there. But I got a really good deal on it, so can't go wrong with a forklift, and you definitely need one if you're gonna be taking a lot of material off the truck all the time. What? What? You excited? Do you want a treat? Do you want to go play ball? Listen, if you're gonna be a good shop dog, you're gonna have to settle down. I know you're only 2. We just hit lunchtime, so we're gonna go grab a sub real quick and stop at the hardware store. Got a couple screws for the desk, some floor drive for that leaking forklift. That thing's leaking like crazy. Possibly some hydraulic fluid. We'll see, and then a dog bowl for Sully because he's looking a little thirsty. It's the second day of the shop, but we're gonna go to our local hardware store. I've been in there twice. It's pretty cool. Definitely a hometown feel. We're back at the shop, and I finally am gonna screw this table down. I've had it for a couple years, or the top, and with the humidity, it bows like crazy. So we're gonna throw a couple screws in it and it actually make it stay down for once. Finally got the top screwed down. It's not gonna go anywhere now with the Sully. So office is getting there slowly. Now I just need to get my computer and everything else set up. I use my computer a lot for obviously invoicing, CAD drawings, all of my cut files, making prints, sending quotes. So I do spend probably 10 to 15% of the time in the office because I'm just a one-man show. So you got to do it all. And it is nice to be able to know how to design something on the computer and make an actual print to be able to give it to someone in the shop when get an employee or maybe 2, but time will tell. We got our oil dry or floor dry, whatever you want to call it. Kitty litter, it all works out, but yeah. We made a mess. I think I'm gonna need a lot more than that. What do you think, Sully? Sully's just stepping in it, putting paw prints everywhere. Oh, he's a little skittish in here. Now we've got our oil dried down. I get to do my first welding project in this shop. I'm gonna make 2 tables, and I've gotta make them on the ground. You're a floor mechanic right now, but knock these 2 tables out. Super simple welding tables. They're sturdy, 1/4 inch tops, 4x4, but I'll get them knocked out and then we'll have some workspace to work on. So let's get after it. Well, there you have it. No more dirty knees. No more working on the ground. I can build the next table on top of this table. These are just general fab tables. I'll put some gusseting in the bottom side, but for right now, they're gonna work just fine. I'm gonna finish weld them out, but everything's 36 inches tall, 4x8, 1/4 inch tops. Cost me about $300 with casters. I've got the good heavy duty 6-inch casters. I gotta assemble. Now that I say that, I should have assembled the brake kits first before I flipped it over. That's gonna suck taking these off, but lesson learned, do it before you flip it over. And obviously it's kind of hard to flip it over, Could have used the forklift, but it's kind of running low on transmission fluid and hydraulic fluid. It's all the same. So get the other one done and on to the next project. I actually remembered to do the brake kit, but they're always a pain. They come in with a couple different pieces. They don't come installed, and I always put 2 straights on and 2 swivels and put the brake kit on the swivels. I think they can go on either one, but obviously it needs to go on the swivel side so it'll actually stop. So that's how it goes on, but I'm always confused after this part. So I'll just tighten it down and see what happens, but being a millennial, some things we just can't figure out. So it's spinning. Actually, I think they both go on the same side. So there's this little cam lock thing right here that presses against somehow. It looks about right. Usually takes about 3 times. Wheel spins. Oh, see, still didn't get it. There it is. On, off, brake. You just gotta mess with it a bunch until you figure it out. And then they go on. But good thing I put this on before I welded it on, because that would have been a pain. That's pretty much a wrap for Wednesday. We got desk in, a couple other things organized. Forklift, it's a project for tomorrow. I'm not excited for that one at all. Got the boat in here, fits pretty nice. My truck actually fit all the way in that spot. I could have closed the door if I needed to. We got 1, 2 welding tables done, so now I don't have to do anything on the ground, which I haven't done a whole lot, but I am dirty. I'm gonna go home, shower, and we're gonna do it again tomorrow. Keep getting this shop set up. Right, Thursday morning, we are getting the office finalized. Desk, computer, all of that stuff going in. Shouldn't take too long, but I need that stuff set up now. Obviously, I like my off-road stuff. Awesome international old school sign. It says SEMA on the back. There is a stamp on here, but it's kind of hard to read. Don't really know what year it is, so if anyone knows anything about these kind of signs, I'd definitely like to know. It wasn't super expensive, but I definitely paid money for it. That would be an awesome place for it, but it sits right in front of the light switch. Just have to figure out a good way to anchor into the brick. I feel bad for putting screws into the brick. It is what it is. Just gonna move it up, call it a day. That is the last personal thing in the office. The rest of the office walls, I'm gonna put signs to kind of demonstrate what kind of work we can do. So when people walk in, they'll be able to visualize. So now that we got all this set up, today's mission, I'm gonna make a couple prints. I have a couple jobs that I'm gonna start, and I'll kind of go through the process of doing that with just getting started, because there's no flow yet. We gotta create a flow on ordering material, getting new addresses set up, everything. This, I gotta pull the hydraulic cylinders off, figure out which one's leaking. I think the big leak is down low when we were trying to drag it out of the driveway. I think that's gonna be an end of the day project, because I'm probably gonna get soaked in hydraulic fluid, and I don't wanna be destroyed all day. Get the boat in here. It obviously had some water in it. I gotta build a T-top tower, one of the leaning posts, the rails that go up here. That'll be a project. It's not anything that's too critical right now. Getting all of this stuff organized. I got a bunch of stuff on the ground still. I just need to get everything cleaned up and put in their spot so I can keep moving equipment in. So this first project I'm doing is a 4x4 frame, and I'm just throwing some quick dimensions on it so I can bring these out to the shop. We know exactly what the length to cut everything is. Very simple frame. Really, we just need our overall, our in-between, what to cut these 2 pieces. So I just imagine what it would be in the shop. Then I'll build it off of that. 46 inches, 24 inches. I basically need to build 3 squares and connect it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, 71 inches. I'll print it out, and then we'll be able to make it in the shop. A change of plans. I got my part-time help called and said is looking for some stuff to do. So I am gonna let him tackle the forklift. So he should be coming in the next hour or so. I'll let him do that. It needs quite a bit of work. Haven't put a new battery in, get the coil to have 12 volts off the key. Basically just new wire from the coil. Printer is not working. It looks like there's a couple bite marks from my puppy dog. Decided to get a hold of the black ink cartridge when I had it laying out. So I'm gonna go get a new ink cartridge. Well, I'm just doing a lot of running around. This thing is kind of a pain. I don't work on forklifts. Took the tire off, wherever that is, and to get down to some of the hydraulic lines on the bottom, we're taking this second mass cylinder, so it goes on the first one and then the second one, or second set of cylinders. One of them's leaking real bad. So we're pulling that one off. C-clip on the top with a weird washer. Can't get the washer out right now, but we'll get it and then just punch it down. That's where we're at right there. And then we got a couple other projects coming in that was not expected. So that's a good thing. Business is good, but lots of stuff happening at once. And yes, I did get the ink for the printer, which I had to go to 2 CVS's to find the right ink, but we got it. On to the next one.
There's a second fitting.
See if we can just wipe that cylinder down also. Well, that took way longer than expected, but we got the cylinder out. This has a bad seal. That's actually the only one that needed to be replaced, so we got that out, and then we ended up finding out right on the bottom of the steering box, it is, well, I put the floor back in, or Trey did. He ended up finding out there was just a loose fitting. So we got that tightened up, and the big main leak that was just pouring fluid out, we just tightened it up and went away. But we got the mast all figured out. It took a minute. Figured out how to get the cylinder out. That was definitely a pain. That pretty much wraps up the day. Got pretty much what I wanted to get done with the forklift, so I'll get the cylinder sent out. I got a ton of quotes out while Trey was working on this, so ended up being an okay day, but not the best. We still haven't made money yet, but we're getting there. Friday morning, ended up finding a nice little horizontal bandsaw for a really good deal off of the good old Facebook Marketplace. Took Sully for a ride, about an hour and 20-minute drive, so not bad. Headed back to the shop, go get this cleaned up and keep plugging away. First Friday of the new shop and new business, and not making money yet. So we'll keep you updated on that. We'll get to the shop and figure out where we're at.